Friday. And Steve, this is the first of two movie shows on this great Friday here. And it's the beginning of Sundance. But Sundance is later. We're going to worry about that later tonight.
Okay.
Let's get right into what we've got this week for everybody to see everywhere. And we're going to start with our big movie review sponsored by Paris RV. Spring just around the corner, and the deals are sizzling hot on leftover 2023 RVs at Paris RV. So go to parisrv.com to see them all. Steve, our big movie of the week, not ISIS, ISS.
Houston, do you read?
War has broken out below, and we were told to take the ISS by any means necessary.
If we got orders from our government to take control.
And that is the big crux of the movie ISS.
That means maybe the Russian people got the same message.
So you got 6 people in this movie, 6 names in the credits, 3 Russians, 3 Americans. They all get along on the International Space Station, which was the symbol of the end of the Cold War. Look, Americans and Russians can work together for the betterment of mankind and science. Everything is hunky-dory. A brand new astronaut played by Ariana DeBose, she's a scientist researcher, shows up on the little rocket with another guy, the other American, and now we've got 6 people up in the thing, and everybody's getting along because, most of them have worked together now for a while.
Okay, maybe part of the problem for me on this movie was the dialogue at the beginning was way too on the nose. Well, we're here to work together. We all work together. As a team, we are together.
Yes, they've got to make sure you understand this, that older people like us who lived through the Cold War,
but
it's a new world, supposedly, because after they're all admiring the Earth and commenting about how there's no borders up here and how great is it that there's no borders, suddenly, what happens if war were declared? What's that
the
sound?
Fireworks going on.
War were declared. And suddenly they get that message that you heard in the clip of, we've been given orders to take the station by any means necessary. Well, they were just friends 5 minutes ago. Are they still friends now?
Well,
that's what you got. So what I thought worked, at least for me, in favor is, the close quarters.
Yeah, definitely claustrophobia.
And it helps because that forces you accept immediately that the camera's going to be up in the face because you just know, where are you going to put the camera otherwise? You can't pull it out like 20, 30 feet.
Yeah.
And so it gives you that close-up feeling that I feel like really helps amp up the tension, this is what's going for. It's going for tension.
Sure. The problem for me is well, we're here. We have to work together. Let's drink some vodka. And, oh, by the way, you hear that humming sound? Yeah, that's the air conditioning. That'll keep us alive. If that doesn't work, but no, that's not foreshadowing at all.
Right.
I mean, it was just
they
so
did
painfully.
Spoon feed you a lot.
Oh my gosh, I was like, okay, we get it. They're up there. They got to work together, and it's not going to happen because we already know that, stuff's going on down below. They're like, wow, look at all the fireworks, and to me, it looked like the whole Earth was on fire. So I'm like, where are you guys going to go if you figure stuff out?
I thought that kind of gave it the old science fiction feel to it because it didn't have a lot of answers. It just had lots of questions.
Well, here's another question.
I kind of liked that a little bit.
How they dropped it down into a lower orbit so that the rocket could get to it?
I guess.
And then they forgot to put it back up into the orbit, so it's going to spin out and end up being in somebody's backyard?
Well,
that was like, oh, do we really need that extra?
If they still have a backyard.
I know. And then where are you going to, where are you going to go? I just thought, come on.
And so for me, I loved the tension and the moral dilemmas. It's funny because it's funny how quickly you can change an attitude. Some of them are military, so when they get an order, they got the moral dilemma. Do I obey this order? I felt like there was moments of, do you remember the movie Crimson Tide with Denzel and Gene Hackman, where we've got this order, but something happens so that we can't for sure confirm that that's really the order. But the difference is, this is as if Crimson Tide had 2 submarines that were right next to each other and trying to decide if they were going to shoot at the other one or not. So it's a little different, but I really liked the tension, and I thought thought somehow this movie is too long and too short at the same time. I don't know how that could be. It's like some weird paradox. It's an hour and a half, but times I felt like it was too long and it could have dropped something. But there were other times where I was like, this might have worked better if we had had a little bit more time to get to know each of these 6 people.
Yeah, okay. I guess I just gave you all the negatives that I thought about this film, but I thought the 6 characters were interesting enough. We didn't have time to do background because, everything's
Right.
going to heck. But I thought those 6 people made what I thought was a silly film work. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the fact that they were definitely, involved, and I thought it was a nice choice. Even Ariana DeBose, who's known for her, singing and dancing talents, to do something that's so subdued and just kind of a whole different thing for her. Even Chris Messina, although, I just thought there was so many weird contrivances that kept poking at me that were getting in the way of a story that looked like it could have been a really interesting premise. And it just, I don't know.
So what do you give it?
Did I give it a B or B minus? B minus.
And I actually gave it the same B minus. I was thinking B, but I thought it wasn't quite. I wouldn't put it as good, but I thought it was better than average. Not quite what I would say good, but I liked it more, certainly more than I disliked it, and I was able to overlook. At least I didn't think those things bothered me enough. I just couldn't say, oh, yes, this is good. I wouldn't call it a good movie, but it was close.
The antenna's broken, but it's on the completely opposite end of this. Isn't there a door where they could go out the other end, like a back door in the International Space Station, where they could have just jumped out? Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was on the Russian side. They didn't have a key. I'm just kidding. I had no idea. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
See, Gustavo is on top of his game
You're
today.
an apologist for this movie.
ISS, International Space Station, Ariana DeBose, Chris Messina. It is rated R, actually. It's rated R.
It is?
It is rated R, yes. And it is in wide release. That is our big movie of the week. On the rest of today's movie show, the other things we'll be talking about, our movie show preview sponsored by Call Climate Services. We've got the potential Oscar nominee, All of Us Strangers.
Yes.
We've got a movie that Freud's Last Session, starring Anthony Hopkins as Sigmund Freud, a Sony Pictures classic.
And Matthew Good, who's also very good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking about that one. And then we have one that the studios went out of their way not to let us watch, Cult Killers.
3 times I asked them. They said, "Oh, we're on it. We've. How do they say it? We've included, or we've CC'd or whatever."
Oh yeah, we've told the people who need to know.
Yeah, the PR, they're on it. They're on it. Oh, they're on it. All right.
Yeah, that usually isn't a good sign for a movie. We also have on streaming the movie June, which is about the wife of Johnny Cash, June Carter Cash.
Very interesting.
We've got a streaming series, a mystery whodunit called Death and Other Details.
Loved it.
We've got the season premiere of True Detective called Night Country this particular season.
Creepy, but cool.
And then a little 3-part docuseries on Netflix called American Nightmare.
Will blow your mind.
Yeah, all that, including Telephone Torture, the movie show Top 10, coming up on today's movie show. We're broadcasting live today from Sound Sleep Medical. We're at one of their 7 locations. We're the one located in Sandy, but they've also got places in Ogden, Layton, Salt Lake, Murray, American Fork, and Provo. Well, what is Sound Sleep Medical, you ask? Well, let's tell you, Melissa. Well, they're the place where you can find out if you have sleep apnea and what you can do to fix it. And so the first thing you got to know is, what is sleep apnea?
Right. And so essentially what it is a condition during the night where you stop breathing, or maybe there's some snoring. Both of those situations will drop your oxygen. If your oxygen is low during the night, you will wake up tired, you won't feel great during the day, but also it's linked to all sorts of serious health issues that can catch up to you down the road.
When I got my sleep apnea corrected the first night after I got a full, regular, good night's sleep, the doctor called to check up and said, "Congratulations, you just added 7 years onto your life by fixing this." And I thought, what? He goes, because the strain that it puts on your heart when you can't breathe right, it adds up. And I was just amazed at how different I felt, and how much better I felt. I thought there was other stuff wrong with me, not even related to sleep apnea. It turned out I just wasn't falling into the deep enough sleep for my body to work like it was supposed to.
Right. You got to be in REM. That's the deep level of restful sleep where it's rejuvenating for your body. There are so many people out there that tell me I'm tired every single day. That's just my mode of operation. I'm tired. And that's a hard way to live. You don't have to live that way. So
If you need 3 cups of stimulant just to make it out the door, that's probably a sign that you're either probably not getting enough for sure, but you're definitely not getting the right kind.
right. And so the fix with us is just an oral appliance. It's like a custom-made mouth guard that you wear on your teeth just during the night. You know, during one of the breaks, we were talking about medications and how that seems to be the way that our medical world works is let's put you on a pill. Let's put you on a new medication. There's always a side effect, no matter what, with something like that. There's nothing like that. It's just something you wear on your teeth during the night. Much, much easier than a CPAP machine and no side effects.
So if you are someone that you love, usually your sleep partner is the one you notice, but it could be anybody. Hey, did you go on a camp out and there was somebody who kept you awake all night because of their snoring? These are all signs that you could have sleep apnea. So if you call 801-716-8672, you can make an appointment today to get a free
sleep screening. So that's a test you get to do at home in your own bed. Bring it back to us the next day or two. You'll get a free sleep consultation, which means sit down with one of our specialists and get your results. And then we are going to enter you into a drawing for our Better Sleep gift basket, which includes a purple pillow, minky blanket, and $50 Amazon gift card.
So that's all free stuff. No copay. This is come in. Find out if you have issues with sleep. And guess what? You don't have to be a certain age to suffer from any of these kinds of things.
It's true. People often are misled and think there's a set profile for sleep apnea, that maybe it's an older, overweight male, but that is not true.
But if you are an older, overweight male, you definitely have that possibility. But it's not exclusive to us.
No. Anybody really, unfortunately, has the possibility. And so if you're 40 and over and you've never done a sleep screening, you're behind. Just like colonoscopies, mammograms, things like that. Let's get you tested, and at the very least, we can rule it out, and you can walk away.
All right, so the number to call to make that free appointment, 801-716-8672 to make an appointment at any of the 7 locations in Utah for Sound Sleep Medical.
The Cougars tear into their first Big 12 conference game.
Dawson Baker, the three-point maker.
Saturday at 4, it's BYU, Texas Tech. BYU, Texas Tech. Pre-game coverage, Saturday at 3 on Utah's legacy home for the Big 12 and the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
NPS, a nice place to save. Steve, my wife went to NPS to get our grocery shopping this week. She stops there first to find out what she needs on her list that she can get for less than at the supermarket.
Right.
Then she goes, and whatever she can't find at NPS, she goes to the supermarket, thus making our grocery bill as small as she can make it. And you can find some incredible deals oftentimes on items, but it's so much more than just a grocery side.
Oh, no kidding. In fact, in the Salt Lake market, they have the store, and then they have an industrial store just across the way. And I love to go in there. I'm not a shopper, so this is weird for me. But the joy of discovery, of finding things that I didn't know that I necessarily needed, but I find them like a whole box of, box cutter blades.
Oh, yeah.
100 of them for $5.
I found a refrigerator filter for my refrigerator.
Yeah.
And they had like a bunch of them, and they were way cheaper than my automatic order that I had to do with my refrigerator manufacturer.
Exactly. My filter on my furnace is 2 inches thick. They're really expensive. I found one there for like a tenth of what I would have paid in a retail store. So that's the joy of NPS. Plus, I love the people there. They're so friendly, so kind, and they'll help you with anything you need. So I'd suggest NPS. Go, go, go.
And they've got 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake, as we mentioned, at 1600 South Empire Road. There's one in Layton at 1150 North Main Street, and one in Orem at 475 North at State Street. And they've got sales on a lot of things, too. One of the great things about NPS, you get 30 to 70% off retail on that stuff. That's the base price.
Automatically.
But they also will do sales on top of that, including right now, going on sometime through next week, 50% off clothing and clothing accessories, 50% off
bedding
and mattresses and mattress pads. We're talking brand new mattresses.
Yeah.
These are at the 4 NPS locations, although the mattresses, I believe, are only at the industrial
That's
location
right, on the other side.
in Salt Lake. 4 locations. Check them out. A nice place to save.
Get deals on what you need during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Right now, save $250 when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch sliding miter saw and adjustable stand together. Plus, save $710 on an LG kitchen suite and earn 3 times the bonus points on all LG appliances. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts of any. Valid 1/15 to 1/26. Subject to change.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's me again. Are you like me and sometimes in the dead of winter like to sit at your window and imagine seeing green foliage and flowers blooming in your garden? Well, J&J Garden Center has a solution. Experience that beautiful garden right now inside your home. Starting January 15th to the 20th, J&J invites you to their annual Plantastic Sales event. During this event, all indoor plants in all varieties and sizes will be 25% off. And all pots in all shapes and sizes and black gold all-purpose potting mix will be 25% off too. So make your indoor oasis come true. Come to J&J's Plantastic event. Take the Layton Parkway exit, Main Street to Gentile, then west 2 miles. You've got to see it to believe it. You really do.
Country grown to your home, J&J Garden Center.
It's the world-famous KSL Movie Show on KSL News Radio.
Steve, our text question of the day to our movie show listeners. You can text us at 57500. What is your favorite astronaut movie? We reviewed International Space Station.
Now, these are real astronauts, or?
Well, so technically, I think the question that we sent out is what is your favorite space movie? But I think what we were originally looking for is what's your favorite astronaut movie? It's a movie that features astronauts from Earth. So, like,
yeah.
I'm not going for Star Wars because Star Wars automatically wins any space movie argument, in my opinion. You can't say anything else. Star Trek, you might be able to make an argument, but we're looking for ones like where you dress up in the space suit, or you're a space movie with people from Earth. Yes, and so that's what we've asked you. 57500. We've already got a vote for Mars Attacks, that 1990s movie, which I thought was so weird.
It is a weird.
She's like, aliens wear helmets. The texter says, don't they count as astronauts?
Why not?
I think it's space.
Sure.
A couple of quick ones. I liked the movie Voyagers with Ty Sheridan and Lily Rose Depp from, I think it was a year ago or two.
Oh.
Definitely Apollo 13. We've had 2 votes for that one.
I would say The Right Stuff.
Ooh, I've heard about that one.
What? The Martian. That would be on my list.
Couple of votes for Space Cowboys.
Oh.
With Tommy Lee Jones
Yeah.
and the other old people.
Wasn't Clint in there?
Clint, Tommy Lee, and
somebody.
I don't remember. Robert Duvall, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, keep them coming in, 57500, with your favorite space movie or astronaut movie featuring astronauts from Earth. But, Steve, let's review All of Us Strangers.
Okay.
What's your mom and dad?
Yeah, they died just before I was 12. I'm trying to write about them at the moment.
How's it going?
Strangely.
Okay, so this is Andrew Scott's big movie, and you'll probably
Now,
hear...
would we know Andrew Scott from anything else?
Yeah, he was in Fleabag with Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Okay.
He was the priest.
Oh, okay, I have heard about that. Okay.
You'd know him.
Okay.
Shoot, I can't think. A lot of British.
He didn't look familiar to me when I watched it.
A lot of British stuff.
So he
is probably going to be nominated for an Academy Award for this performance. So, in that regard, maybe you might want to watch it. This movie is about he's kind of a loner, lives in this apartment building. There's a guy that lives a few floors below. They try to make a connection, but it doesn't. He's like, not tonight. And then he goes and travels to
he's looking at pictures. He's looking at pictures from his childhood, and I guess it gives him a reason he's going to go visit his childhood home. So he drives back to his hometown.
Yeah, and there's his mom and dad, who we just heard were killed in a car crash. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? And he's older now, like he's, in his 20s.
But his parents are still the same age.
Exactly. And they also, they realize, they're self-aware. They realize that he's no longer a 12-year-old boy, which is what he was when they died. So what in the heck is going on here? He hangs out with them. They, chat it up. Mom's not happy that he's gay, and it's almost like they're mentally set back 20 years, but yet they're here now. How is that working out? So he goes back, and he and Paul Mescal, who, by the way, I think is...
Paul Mescal plays the guy who lives on the lower floor.
Right, and he is a terrific actor. He's going to be in the new Gladiator 2 movie. He's the lead in that, and I can't wait to see that. He was also in that Faux movie that we saw with Saoirse Ronan.
Yes, that's right. He was the other guy, yeah. Okay.
So they develop a relationship, and then he keeps going back and hanging out with Mom and Dad, and so you're like, okay, please inform me. What is going to happen here? And, of course, I won't tell you, but I thought it was a little weird.
It was. Did you like it?
Up until... There was a moment where I thought they've stuck by their, the internal rules of this movie until one point, and then I thought they just yanked the rug out from under it, and that ticked me off.
I can see exactly what you're saying, because it's tough for us to really describe it much more without ruining anybody who wants to see the movie. We don't want to do that.
No.
For me, I thought what worked for it for me, and people will relate to this differently. First of all, it's rated R for...
there's a lot of man love.
There is a lot of it in there, and if content's an issue, this is one you're going to want to avoid. But the idea of wanting to spend now, somebody who's both of my parents are gone, and I lost my mom when I was 18. So this idea that you want to hang out with your parents after all these years and have the moments that you didn't get to have with them, I really did connect with that, and I thought that was really, really well done. From what I've read from other people. Some of the parts, the queer parts and the gay, he gets to come out to his parents, and he never did get to do that while they were alive.
Right.
I don't personally relate to that, but I can imagine that that's like a really emotionally connecting thing. So I thought there was a lot of good about it. I'm still not, I think I actually had to go online and read a description of the ending after I saw it because I wasn't sure what had happened. And so for me, I didn't like it as much as some of our fellow critics in the Film Critics Association did. But for me, I would put it in the C+ range for me personally.
Well, in fact, I was looking specifically to see if Andrew Scott deserved an Academy Award for this. I thought he did a good job, but I've seen better performances like, Domingo as
Coleman
Rustin.
Domingo.
Holy crap, I thought his performance was incredible. And so, I don't know. So Andrew Scott did a good job here. I love Paul Mescal. And even Jamie Bell and Claire Foy, the parents, were great.
Yes. Oh, that's right, Claire Foy. I knew she looked familiar.
But I just thought, it didn't work for me.
So, but if you want to see it, you want to see it for the performances of Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott.
And you got there is some more red flags here. It is a lot of loving going on.
Yes, it is definitely rated R. That is All of Us Strangers. Now, the movie show is live right now from Sound Sleep Medical. And Melissa Lowry, we want our movie show listeners to call 801-716-8672 because they can make a free appointment with you guys here at Sound Sleep to get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation. So you'll get the test. You get to do it in your own home. That was my dad's biggest obstacle, and he never did correct his sleep apnea because he never wanted to go and do a test and have to sleep somewhere else.
Right. They're very expensive. Pretty inconvenient.
Actually, I don't even know if that's what he was worried. He just didn't want to sleep somewhere that wasn't his house.
That would freak me out, too, to be honest.
Yeah, and a lot of times people are waiting months for their results. So that's one great thing about us is we can test you as early as next week. It's going to be free. It's going to be in your own bed. We will also give you those test results the very next day.
By the way, they're very extensive. I was shocked at the amount of information that came from that little test.
Right. I mean, this is an at-home test, but it is very comprehensive. We're going to see what happens when you change body position. Are you breathing worse on your back than maybe one of your sides? What happens with your heart rate, oxygen levels? Do you stop breathing? How long does it last? It's a very comprehensive
And how many
test.
times? You'll be surprised. If you have sleep apnea, you'll be surprised how many times it tells you stop breathing. You're like, with mine, it was more than once a minute.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. It's like, that's impossible. It couldn't possibly be that many. It was.
And you've got to do something about it. It's really a dangerous situation. So if you're snoring out there, that's an easy red flag. Maybe you're having to sleep in separate bedrooms, which is common with people with sleep apnea. That is an easy red flag that you better get yourself tested.
So 801.
I got a question. Will the trays eliminate the snoring?
Sure.
Oh.
Snoring
That's
is
what they're designed to do, right?
Yeah. I mean,
open that airway. Okay.
The official name for snoring is actually hypopnea, and we're going to see that on your test result. But snoring contributes to
That's
low
a way cooler
oxygen
word
levels.
than snoring.
Doesn't sound
Hypopnea.
quite as bad. Huh.
But what we 801-716-8672. Write that number down if you can't call right this second, because this is something you're going to want to do. If you're one of the first 50 callers, or actually no, check that. You guys are even more generous. All callers who schedule an appointment will get entered into a drawing for your Better Sleep gift basket, which includes
a purple pillow, minky blanket, and a $50 Amazon gift card. But I just want to reiterate, everybody that calls will automatically get the free sleep screening, the free sleep consultation, and then we'll enter you into that awesome drawing.
So 801-716-8672 for Sound Sleep Medical.
It's 11:32 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bonas. Our top story this hour. Utah's December jobs report shows the state's job growth is slowing a little from the high we saw in the middle of the year, but the unemployment rate stayed steady at 2.8%.
These aren't bad numbers. We're continuing to see growth, and we have very low unemployment.
That's Jared Mendenhall with the Department of Workforce Services. Told Utah's Morning News we're seeing people getting hired in education, health services, leisure, and hospitality. We lost some jobs, though, in trade professions and in transportation. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Another day of extreme air travel problems across the country. About 1,000 flights have been canceled, over 3,000 delayed today from coast to coast. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
It's been a rough week of storms hitting the Pacific Northwest, and now a second snowstorm hitting the Northeast, crippling both areas. In Portland, Oregon, it's been an ice storm causing problems. United and Alaska have been taking the brunt of it this week. They have hubs in the most heavily impacted areas like Seattle and Newark, but they also have their Boeing 737 MAX 9s grounded. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average up on the day now, 326 points right now, and the NASDAQ is up 183. And our KSL weather, cloudy with possibly some showers for the weekend. That's next. KSL News Time, 11:34.
News doesn't just mean information or dates.
It's the story of our local history being told in real time.
Be a part of the story. This is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
We hope to be a part of your story. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
You know, I started my SOTA weight loss journey in the middle of September, and now 4 months later, I have lost just a shade under 60 pounds. That's 60 pounds. And yeah, I've been averaging about 4 pounds a week losing weight on the SOTA weight loss program. SOTA stands for state of the art. It's not SOTA, it's SOTA, state of the art. And you're not just losing weight, though, on SOTA. You're gaining years on your life. I've rewired my brain on how to eat. I've set up these new standards of health for myself because SOTA isn't a diet. It's scientifically and medically sound approach to living a healthy life that the plan is will last and last. My colleagues, Tim Hughes, Amanda Dixon, Boyd Matheson, they have finished the weight loss portion of their journey, and they've been maintaining now for multiple years. I am almost to the point where I can go into maintenance, and I'm so excited. New wardrobe, all kinds of new things. And we want you to have a chance to be part of this. So I want you to enter SOTA's Shape Up Showdown. If you've been thinking about, I should do something like this, send an email to shapeup@sotaweightloss.com. That's shapeup@sotaweightloss.com. You could win a free year-long membership and a $2,000 wardrobe makeover. You got nothing to lose. It's just an email. Send it.
I'm Scott, the owner of Solid Fire Pits. When I began welding my custom-made fire pits for friends and family, I shared them on TikTok because I was just so proud of them. Check it out. That's beautiful. I posted every new fire pit design, and more people kept ordering, from 26 states and counting. Then on my birthday, I had my best sales ever. Now how can the universe beat that?
Solid Fire Pits is just one of the 5 million U.S. businesses that rely on TikTok every day. TikTok sparks business.
Valentine's Day is here. This year, give the ultimate gift. Name a star after your sweetheart. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For 45 years, we've named millions of stars for celebrities, dignitaries, and individuals worldwide. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can give the most memorable gift. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
The monster is coming, and it wants you and your family.
And that's great news, really, because it's time for the Bear Lake Monster Winterfest, January 26th through the 28th. Winterfest is all about an incredible celebration of winter and all the fun it brings. So start Friday with Monster Winter Sports and Trails Day, a free event featuring fat tire bikes, snowshoes, snowmobiles, and tubes for the kids. Also a taste of Bear Lake, with local restaurants dishing up their tasty specialties. Then Saturday, it's the Monster 5K Walk and Run, a Monster Cisco Disco Tournament, chili cook-off, even a cardboard boat regatta, followed by the famous Monster Plunge. Come on, Bear Lake awaits. Visit BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com for pre-registration times and locations. That's BearLakeMonsterWinterfest.com. Presented by Bear Lake Visitors Bureau and Bear Lake Chamber.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Well, it's looking really quiet out there. Really, the only delays I'm seeing are up in Park City, Kearns Boulevard, Deer Valley Drive, Park Avenue. They're looking good other than that. Advanced Window Products, Factory Direct Affordable Windows. Call today. They're on their way. Financing available. Save now, pay later. AdvancedWindows.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, cloudy with highs in the mid-40s, and we have a chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday. And right now, we're at 39 degrees, mostly cloudy. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the KSL Movie Show.
That gave the audience feelings they weren't sure they should enjoy.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
Like a slice of butter melting on top of a big old pile of flapjacks.
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Our text question of the day on the movie show, what is your favorite astronaut movie? We're looking mostly for a movie that features astronauts from Earth, and wow, Steve, the response has been overwhelming. This is apparently a favorite category for a lot of our listeners because they've got great suggestions too. More votes for Apollo 13.
Okay.
Do you think that's maybe the best astronaut-ish movie of all time?
Well, it's up there. It's in the top 5. It's got to be.
Here's a vote for The Right Stuff from one of our texters.
Love.
One called The Midnight Sky. That's not ringing a bell for me.
There's one called the something Sky.
October Sky.
No.
There is a movie called October Sky.
Where somebody gets yanked up into space and it's got sky in it.
Aliens abducted my parents, and now I'm a little jealous. We watched that one last year.
That's right.
Another vote for Moon Monster Madness, a Scooby-Doo feature. That has to be Stone. What? I got it wrong. What was the awful one with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney? Ha, ha, ha.
Gravity.
Gravity. There's some votes for... Oh, here's one. I'm surprised it took this long. 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Ooh.
So
good makeout movie when I was a teenager.
That's because nothing was happening on screen. All right, so we want to do a review. You keep your favorite astronaut movies coming to 57500, texting
I
us.
shared that.
Steve, let's review Freud's Last Session.
Why someone of your supreme intellect would suddenly abandon truth and then embrace a ludicrous dream, an insidious lie?
Well, I wholeheartedly disagree.
Well, of course you disagree. You have to disagree.
So this is a character drama starring Anthony Hopkins as the famous psychologist Sigmund Freud. It's set during World War II, the very beginning of World War II. And it details a visit, whether it actually happened or not. They leave ambiguous, but it's a visit to Freud's home in London after he fled Germany just before the war began by a famous Oxford Don. I didn't know that was a title for Oxford professor people, but an Oxford Don, author C.S. Lewis. That's right, the guy who wrote Chronicles of Narnia, who's a famous Christian writer.
Yeah.
And so what you get is this fascinating back and forth discussion between an avowed atheist, Freud, and one of the more famous Christian writers of the 20th century. And references, there's also references to J.R.R. Tolkien also, and this group of Oxford professors that hang out and review each other's work. That's the premise of this movie.
Yeah, and they sit in his den, in his house, Freud's house, and they just go back and forth. And I don't think I've seen Anthony Hopkins better.
He was animated. He's playing Freud, and this is actually shortly before Freud died. He died end of September of 1939.
Yeah.
And this takes place days after the German invasion of Poland, which was on September 1st. So this is all a few weeks. So he's in a bad shape. He's got issues, got mouth cancer.
Ew, that was creepy.
Yeah. He lives with his daughter, Anna, who's also becoming a well-known psychoanalyst in her own right. Her focus is more towards children.
Right.
All this stuff factors into the movie, but the body of it is Tolkien and Freud sparring about their viewpoints.
C.S. Lewis.
You're right. C.S. Lewis is who I mean. But they're sparring about their viewpoints. You find out C.S. Lewis's basically his conversion story. Because Freud's like, oh yeah, this is what your parents baked into you, wasn't it? And he's like, no, actually, I left faith when my mom died when I was younger. And you find out how he gets back to it. And some of this was actually in a movie that I'd seen before. I forget what it's called, but it was the C.S. Lewis story from about 2 or 3 years ago. I thought for sure you'd know it off the top of your head.
Shoot.
Some of the stuff that happened to him in World War I, and then he comes home. And at any rate, so some of the C.S. Lewis side, if you've seen that other movie that's about Lewis's life, you'll know. But just the back and forth between Hopkins and who plays Lewis?
Matthew Good.
Matthew Good. That's not the movie, The Most Reluctant Convert, but that is about him. I'll have to find
Ding,
it.
ding, ding, ding. You get partial
But
credit.
Stone, thank you for checking. But to me, this was an A- movie for me. I loved the back and forth. Done wrong, this could have gone horribly. Done one-sided to one or the other, this would not have been nearly as compelling as them making their points and still being collegial about it, and still being friendly with each other. They still have drinks together. They still do all these things. I just thought it was. I wasn't surprised at the end when I saw it was based on a stage play, because it was that's how sharp the writing and the interplay between them was.
Well, I thought it was interesting in that Freud was immediately ticked off because C.S. Lewis was late. You don't be late. So he treated him like garbage at the beginning, but as they conversed, and then C.S. Lewis would come back with something, and it was never. I mean, there was poking at each other, but it never mean-spirited. And maybe called him an idiot or whatever a couple times, but it was as the conversation went on, it became more respectful, and I thought that was really interesting. They had completely opposite views about the world and what happens before or after, yet they kind of embraced each other as minds, people who had extraordinary minds and had actually thought this through. I think Freud thought he was just going to waste the kid. And then he realized that's not the case.
And, Governor Cox talks about disagreeing better. I thought this was a great example of how two people who didn't have the same viewpoint could share their viewpoints with each other, even passionately, and still walk away with respect for each other.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I loved that. And that's, to me, what elevated it. I couldn't quite go A, like the super excellent, but for me it was an A-.
Yeah, I think I was also in that neighborhood. I gave it a B, B+. I'm going to add a little plus there, because I thought it was really good. The fact that it didn't happen probably irked me a little bit. We don't know if that was actually C.S. Lewis that went to visit him.
Yes.
We do know that he had a visit from an Oxford Don, they called him.
But we never found out who it was. So it could have been.
It could have been
C.S. Lewis.
But so it's all made up, basically.
Yeah. Well, but and as I was watching it, too, that actually came to my mind when I thought, who was around recording all this? Because Freud didn't live for 2 more weeks after this.
Yeah.
Did Lewis go right about this? But it's still, maybe this exchange never happened. But what a great way to have that classic argument and present it in such a way with really talented actors.
Yeah.
So that is Freud's Last Session, and it is rated PG-13, which means that content-wise, there really shouldn't be anything that you have to worry about.
And
There's
so
a little
far,
bit of a flashback scene that's a little bit weird, but
the
World War I, and then when Freud was doped up with his mouth cancer.
Oh, that was
some stuff happens.
But
yeah,
so far I only saw Jordan Commons is the only place I know where this is
Really?
playing right now.
That's disappointing. I wish it was
I mean,
in a wider
it might be
release
wider,
than that.
but that's for sure.
Anyway, I think it's worth seeking out. It was very well done, and you get to see Anthony Hopkins not in a Transformers movie.
It's an incredible performance.
Yeah. That is Freud's Last Session. It is in wide release. The movie show today, live from Sound Asleep Medical. Melissa, we talked about what the test at home that you can do. Listeners who call 801-716-8672 and make an appointment with Sound Sleep Medical, you're going to get a free at-home sleep test. And then you've got the test. It's got all the data. You guys have looked it over, and now somebody comes back in, and what happens?
We'll sit down with you and we'll talk about what's going on with your sleep, what are your struggles, but also let's look at these test results and we'll explain it to you and help you know whether or not you should go forward with treatment.
And what is treatment then?
Not a CPAP machine with the mask and the hose, electricity, all the inconvenience. Instead,
a lot of people really struggle with that.
They do, yeah. Unfortunately, people
My wife
don't
is one
last long.
that struggles with it.
With
She
the
uses
CPAP,
it,
yeah.
but she struggles.
Yep. But you've got to find something else. If you have sleep apnea and the CPAP is not your answer for treatment, don't stop there. Keep going. You've got to find your answer, your treatment. We do an oral appliance. It's much, much easier. No electricity, no mask. It's like bleach trace. You wear them on your teeth during the night. It's going to be the perfect size, perfect fit for you. It will stabilize your lower jaw to keep your airway open. Do the same thing as a CPAP does, but much more conveniently.
So you call in, you get all this stuff done, and then you get a good night's sleep. I mean, I can't tell you, until you experience the way you're supposed to sleep, just how much better it is than you think it can be right now.
Right. If you're tired all the time, it affects your job. It affects your relationships. It's just quality of life is much compromised. And when you're sleeping well and feeling good when you wake up, it's a whole different story.
When you wake up and you don't think, what is the absolute earliest that I get to sleep again? That's your first thought when you wake up. And trust me, people who struggle with sleep apnea, you've had this thought. That means you got to get something done about it. And here's a way to do it for free. If you're 40 and older, you say, if you've never had a sleep test, why not come get a free one?
Exactly. Let's at least give you some answers. If you don't have it, great. At least you'll have ruled it out. But if you haven't had a test, you're 40 and over, then you're behind.
And if you are one of the callers here during the movie show, 801-716-8672, if you schedule that appointment, you're entered into a drawing for the Sleep Better gift basket.
Yeah, it's a great drawing. It will include a purple pillow, a minky blanket, and a $50 Amazon gift card.
So call 801-716-8672 for you or your loved one. Get that sleep test scheduled and find out if you can have more energy and a better night's sleep.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done, or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio. Or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
Stop and think just for a minute. If right now your home comfort system went ka-flooey, which is not a technical term really, but you get the idea. Who would you call?
Oh,
My mom?
Great idea for some support and maybe some mean banking advice. But Mom's not exactly an expert on heating and cooling.
My brother?
Yeah, remember what he did to your bathroom sink a few years ago when he said he knew everything about plumbing? No? Correct answer is Call Climate Services. And here's why. Call Climate has been around for over 25 years and features Lennox products and Kohler generators, the finest names in home comfort. So if it's a big kaflooey and requires a system replacement, you're in the right hands. And if it's more of a smaller kaflooey, their repair work is outstanding. Call Climate understands heating and cooling better than anyone. So start at callclimate.com and learn about their quality team waiting to serve you. From repair to replacement and installation, callclimate.com.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Utah is known for being home to many entrepreneurs and small business owners, but it can be difficult for them to find the right legal services. AGS Law was created to change that. Founder Ashley Garby Smith joins us with more.
In 2020, I started AGS Law with a distinct mission, providing expert legal services for small business owners, dentists, optometrists, and veterinarians. Our firm stands out for its flat fee model, offering transparent, predictable pricing. At AGS Law, we value building a personal rapport with each client. We are committed to upfront fee structures and quick response times. Our expertise encompasses helping professionals start their businesses, negotiating leases and commercial real estate deals, drafting various agreements, and overseeing the purchase and sale of small businesses and professional practices. We also help protect your brand through trademark registration. Our focus on these specific practice areas guarantees exceptional expertise in small business law and professional practice transitions. Whether you're in the market to buy or sell a business or practice, require contract drafting or reviewing, or want to protect your brand with trademarks, AGS Law is your reliable ally in navigating your legal needs.
From dental law and estate planning to business contracts and trademarks, AGS Law is here to address your business's unique needs. Learn more at their website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
10, 9. The KSL Movie Show Top 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sound of the Goat means it's time for the Movie Show Top 10, sponsored by Call Climate Services. From repair to replacement and installation, callclimate.com. Steve, the Movie Show Top 10 this week. At number 10 is The Iron Claw, our wrestling movie with Zac Efron.
You know, it's not done that well, especially overseas, but $29 million after 4 weeks.
And I liked it a little more than you did, but neither of us liked it as much as some people did.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 9, The Book of Clarence. I saw this one. I don't think you got to that one ever, did you?
No, it's only made $3.4 million. Apparently, you weren't the only one that didn't have to pay for this movie.
No, actually, I did pay for that one.
Oh, you did?
I did pay for that
one. Oh, you're a
yes.
part of this then.
Hey, I contributed.
$3.4 million.
It is it's kind of a satire, but also like a really sincere exploration of belief about a black man at the same time as Jesus. But everybody is black, and so except for the Roman soldiers, they're the only ones that are white. It's quirky, but it winds, but I thought the ending justified the winding journey once they got to it.
Cool.
Number 8, The Boys in the Boat. I really liked this one.
Yeah, and yet it's only made $41 million. Only one foreign, 42 total.
I saw it twice.
Really?
Yeah. That's how much I liked it.
I liked it too.
Number 7, Night Swim.
Yeah, now see, here's the tragedy.
It's sinking quick.
Well, it made 21 domestic, 11 foreign. It's at $32 million, and you know that movie cost $50 to make.
Yeah, most of it was probably just hiring the only actor that you recognize in it.
The makeup, maybe, for the dead people in the swimming pool.
Yeah. Number 6, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
You know what? This keeps, cruising along. 110 domestic, 268 foreign. It's at 379.
They love Aquaman in China for whatever reason. He does really well there at the box office.
Huh.
Number 5, Migration.
This one's evenly split. 89 domestic, 88 foreign. 177 million. Yeah.
Cute,
good.
family friendly. My kids enjoyed it. It wasn't one of Illumination's best efforts.
No.
But it wasn't certainly poor either.
No, I had a good time.
Number 4, the comedy Anyone But You.
This one's done really well. 53 domestic, 23 foreign. It's at $81 million.
Super hot people in super ridiculous situations.
In a really cool
pretending
climate.
not to love each other.
Yeah, that was kind of silly, but
And it was Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
And it proves they can lead a movie. I thought they did a great job carrying the lead.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 3, Wonka. This movie's setting records.
Yeah. We're looking at 180 domestic. Check out the foreign. $331 million foreign. It's at $511 million.
Wonka, $500 million. It's worth it, though. It is magical.
It's good. I get it.
And it's a musical.
Yeah.
It's why they have hopes for the musical Mean Girls, which it hasn't quite. But we'll get to that one in just a sec.
I know it's weird how people are kind of thrown off by musicals. But if they work, they work.
Exactly.
You like the sound of music? Come on.
Number 2, The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper. People love my movie. 22 domestic.
Jason Statham, you've joined us here on the movie show. Where's Steve?
That's right. Well, I took over. He's a punk. 22 domestic, 21 foreign, $43 million, all in my pocket.
Think it's a big drop this week?
No, I think it hangs in there. Sorry, I just came back.
No. Oh, hey, welcome back, Steve. Jason, we'll see you next week on the Movie Show Top 10. And our number 1 movie of the week making its debut at the top spot, Mean Girls.
37 domestic, 3 foreign. It's already at $40 million in 1 week.
What did you give Mean Girls?
I gave it love.
Love?
I can't remember.
I think I gave it a B- personally. So that is the Movie Show Top 10 sponsored by Call Climate Services. Steve, we have just enough time to review one of our other movies. It's actually a movie that's going straight to streaming on Paramount Plus called June.
Yes. Welcome, June Carter Cash. June Carter Cash. June Carter Cash.
Who is June Carter Cash? Well, she's about it, first off.
I don't think I've ever really known a life any different than show business.
Now, I thought one of the best things they did is right at the beginning of this movie, which is about the wife of Johnny Cash. But you know what? Reducing her to the wife of Johnny Cash drastically undersells, first of all, how big a deal she was in country music before she met Johnny Cash.
Yep.
And second of all, she's won Grammys posthumously.
Yes.
So this is a very talented woman. And right at the beginning of the movie, they acknowledge, look, the only thing that the average person probably knows about June Carter Cash is that Reese Witherspoon played her. And then Reese Witherspoon comes on and says, look, I did like this little chunk of her very long life and career, so there's a lot more to her. And then that's what they do over the next hour and a half is tell you who she is. And I thought I didn't know anything about her. I thought she was magnetic. Absolutely.
I thought she was much more interesting than I expected, and I have a newfound respect for June Carter Cash because she was a self-determined woman and just sort of, all right, I guess she was married twice before.
Yes, before Johnny.
Before Johnny. And yet he fell in love. They fell in love, and she's like, I don't really want to fall in love with this guy, but here we are.
And she wrote Ring of Fire.
Yes.
I didn't
and
know
he played
that.
the heck out of it.
He sure did. But listening to the way each of them performed Ring of Fire, it's almost a different song. Even though the lyrics are the same, their styles are different, and you get a different feel from it.
That's true.
But it was about the same thing. They were both married, and they weren't to each other, and they fell in love with each other, and that's basically what Ring of Fire was about.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this film.
So for me, this was definitely a B.
B+ for me.
B+. That is June, and it is on Paramount Plus. When we come back on the movie show, we've got our other big streaming reviews.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 12 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. The Oakland A's have reportedly visited Smith's Ballpark in Salt Lake City. They're considering playing there full-time until they can move into their new home in Las Vegas in 2028.
We're talking about the potential to have a major league team in downtown Salt Lake City 81 times a year from 2025 through 2027. Now, unfortunately, Salt Lake City isn't the only contender. According to a report from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the A's are also considering minor league stadiums in Las Vegas, Reno, and Sacramento, as well as sharing time at the major league home of the San Francisco Giants. Now, Salt Lake City does have an advantage, though, with the Bees set to move to Daybreak in 2025. That would give the A's full flexibility with scheduling. Every other stadium would have to be a shared arrangement, so keep your fingers crossed. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The higher prices go for existing homes across the country, the fewer of them are being sold. Here's ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
Sales of existing homes have fallen to the lowest level in nearly 30 years, says the National Association of Realtors. Sales fell in December over 6% from the previous year. The median existing home sales price rose for the sixth month in a row, up 4.4% in December from the previous year, to a record high of over $389,000. Mortgage rates have been slowly dropping.
Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average up now 356 points on the day, and the NASDAQ is up right now 208 points. And our KSL weather, the clouds are going to stick around for the weekend. That's next. KSL News, 12:01.
Join us on the community's #1 resource for news and fair, enlightening talk.
Listening to Dave and Debbie talk about the Israeli conflict was not one-sided. I really appreciate that.
Listen between 9 and noon each weekday
on KSL News Radio.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
IVC, Interventional Vascular and Vein Center, is having a New Year, New Leg special event on Saturday, January 27th. This will be a free screening for varicose veins at their office in Provo. Don't let leg pain slow you down in 2024. Why wait? Now is the time to kick off the new year with new legs. Come and learn why starting at the beginning of the year is ideal to get you ready for spring. IVC has been in business for over 20 years and has been voted the best vein center of Utah Valley for 10 years running. IVC's doctors, advanced practice providers, and sonographers will be on hand to answer your questions. So come see them Saturday, January 27th for a free varicose vein screening. Space is limited, so please RSVP right now. Visit ivein.com. That's the letter I, VEIN.com to schedule your New Year, New Legs free screening at IVC. Because life starts when the pain stops.
The new year is here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the year. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Don't forget your air ducts to help alleviate allergies or asthma. Enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home will stay cleaner longer. Don't DIY it. Call Zero Res because you know it's safe and effective. Zero Res has a 4.8 rating on Google with over 3,300 reviews. The Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Yeah, Zero Res absolutely stands behind every cleaning. Don't miss the best deal of the year. Get back to clean and get one room of carpet cleaning starting at just $25 per room by using promo code 25RM. Call Zero Res at 866-0RES or go online at zerores.com and say you want the station special. Zero Res. Spell it backward or forwards. It spells the same.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Well, it's still very quiet out there. Where I'm seeing the biggest delays, again, is going to be up in Park City, Kearns Boulevard. That's busy from Highway 40 all the way over to SR 224, Olympic Parkway, Park Avenue. And then now we're seeing some slowdowns as you're approaching I-80 at Kimball Junction. Fed Up Kitchen is Utah's premier healthy meal prep service. Save time, money, and get results with their delicious meals made fresh daily. Right now, save 20% on your first order. Use promo code KSL at fedupkitchen.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, cloudy with highs in the mid-40s, chance of rain Saturday and Sunday. And right now, we're at 39 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the KSL Movie Show.
The end is inevitable. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir, but not today.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
Right now, we are being so unoffensive, we might as well be a Hallmark Christmas movie. You know what I'm saying?
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Hour 2 of the movie show. We just reviewed June, which is coming to Paramount Plus, but we couldn't say it was the biggest streaming because there's another thing that I think is going to maybe generate a little bit more interest. But boy, Steve, you had a hilarious story about it when you were in Las Vegas, and Johnny Cash went in to buy a shirt, and the poor girl had no idea who he was and sent him away.
Yeah, I hear this voice. We were at Abercrombie & Fitch, and I'm just looking at clothes, and all of a sudden I hear this, "Excuse me, little lady, you got any black silk shirts?" And I turn around like, holy crap. And she goes, "No, we don't have any black silk shirts." And like, so
we're Abercrombie & Fitch. We only have things that barely fit you.
And they're for young people, not old dudes. Like, so he walks out, and I go, "Do you know who that was?" And she goes, "No." I go, "That was Johnny freaking Cash." She goes, "Who?" And I go, "Okay, I'm out of here."
Yeah,
I literally walked out. I probably there's no way.
It was.
It was sad.
There was a song that said, "I like the girls who shop at Abercrombie & Fitch," but maybe you don't like the girls who work at Abercrombie & Fitch.
Well, that
I don't
would
know.
definitely fit him.
All right, well, let's do our big streaming review. I thought we had a sound effect.
Planning a weekend on the couch? Streaming your favorite movie or a new show? Andy and Steve sort through it all so you only binge the best. It's the movie show Streaming Reviews on KSL News Radio.
All right, Steve, 2 different detective shows.
Yes.
Coming to streaming this
One
week.
very dark, literally.
Both of them have already had their premiere. The big one, the one that we've both seen, is called Death and Other Details on Hulu. And this one is it's a whodunit. It's basically fans of Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride will you may not recognize him at first, but Mandy Patinkin plays a famous detective who's asked to solve a murder on board a cruise ship. This cruise ship is full of rich people, and of course, all the rich people have many secrets.
You just described Knives Out, by the way.
I was going to get to that.
Oh.
But he ends up enlisting the help of one of the passengers who happens to be she's not a girl now, but she was a girl then whose mother's murder this detective failed to solve years before.
And he's the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, except this was the one case he never solved.
And he thinks that he has no idea who she is, but...
And I don't know who the actress is, but I liked her.
She's amazing.
She reminded me of Keira Knightley and, Malin Ackerman mixed together, if you know who those two actresses are. But at any rate, turns out she's got a talent for detective sleuthing also.
Yes.
That Mr. Detective, I want to say Cogsworth, but it's like Coatsworth.
Yeah, it is Coatsworth.
I think it's Coatsworth. Detective Coatsworth realized that years before, and his biggest heartbreak was that he never solved her mother's murder.
Was it Rufus?
Rufus, yeah, Rufus Coatsworth. And Mandy Patinkin's voice is so deep and just so majestic.
Except when he sings. Have you ever heard him sing?
He sings well.
It's high. Whew. Up there.
But anyway, I thought this was really fun. You got to beware. It is rated mature for mature audiences, and there's a little bit of spice mixed in. But for the 2 episodes that they have available on Hulu, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
This is one where I wished they had sent me the whole series to
Yeah,
season.
this one you can't cheat.
No,
Oh.
I can't. I have to wait just like everyone else. Oh, no. So that
No,
is...
I thought it was high energy. It was fun. Even though there's a guy pinned to the wall. But other than that,
But it feels like Knives Out
Yeah.
and an Agatha Christie mystery at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
it's actually a lot of fun.
very entertaining. Death and Other Details on Hulu. Now, the one I did not get to see is the one that is on HBO and streaming on Max, True Detective Night Country.
Yeah, this would be the 4th one. So they started this series 10 years ago, and they're kind of selective how they do it. But this is the 4th season, and they don't interact. They're separate, completely different stories, different crimes, and different characters. This one is set in Alaska right before they have the final sunset. And there are 8 men who work at a facility away from this town, Enos, a small town. And it's a research facility. And
where's it set?
In Enos, Alaska.
Alaska. Okay. So we're talking way up Arctic Circle.
Way up there, yeah. And it's, the
I'm
sun's
guessing
not
the
going
night is a key factor here.
It's going to stay night for several weeks. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, once you get inside the Arctic Circle, there's a portion of the year where you don't get daylight, and there's a portion of the year where you don't get nighttime.
Right. It just kind of dips and then comes back up.
Yeah.
So this is all night, and it's Jodie Foster, and I can't remember the other young woman's name, but they're thrown together. They're not in the same department. One works for the city, one's like a county sheriff, and that's Jodie Foster. And the fact that she's in it, she's got her Silence of the Lambs face. Callie Reese, thank you, is the other young woman. And it's all set in it's Inuit country, and so there's a lot of Native American stuff going on. Fiona Shaw.
Oh, wow.
Is in this. She lives way out in the middle of nowhere, and yet
Dudley Dursley's mom in the
somebody
Harry Potter
appears to her and leads her to where these guys are, and they're all frozen in the snow, and they have this horrified look on their face. That's the first 2 episodes, and I don't know anything else, but I'm hooked on that one. It's much darker than the one we just talked about, but man, come on, it's cool. It's creepy cool.
And Jodie Foster, I mean, we saw her in Naiad at the end of last year.
She's up
she
here at
disappeared
Sundance,
for
by
so
the way.
long you forget just how good she is of an actress.
She just acts when she wants to. And she said she read this script. She says, this is good. I got to do this.
What accent does she do?
She does her regular, no accent.
No accent, no Southern, no.
It's in Alaska.
I don't know. I don't live there.
She's been there forever.
What's a Utah accent? You don't say the T's. Layton, Mountain, Cran.
Got it.
So,
good. They're both good. I equally, this one's darker, and of course the other one is a little bit lighter.
So that was True Detective Night Country, streaming on Max. That's the one with Jodie Foster.
Yeah,
and
the first 2 episodes have dropped, and they're going to drop every Sunday.
Every Sunday. And then Death and Other Details is the one that stars Mandy Patinkin. And that one is on Hulu, and that one is dropping episodes, I think, on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's 2 available now. So those are 2 of our big streaming reviews. We've also got still to talk about American Nightmare, and we'll do that in our next segment. And, Steve, those people who've been patient can finally watch all of Season 2 of Reacher. We'll talk about that in our next segment. As well as we continue with our big streaming
So
reviews.
laughing at Stone. Why are you shaking your head no?
Stone
You
hates
can't
the fact
wait
that
to
we
see it.
have been able. We already know the
Oh.
last episode for a month now, and he had to wait until this week. So all of that coming up on the movie show, and we're not far away from telephone torture, and our theme is going to be an astronaut movie. So keep those texts coming, 57500.
Has it been mentioned so far?
I'm not going to say because I don't want to give it away.
Dude.
All right. The movie show is broadcasting live from Sound Sleep Medical. We're joined again by Melissa Lowry. Melissa, one of the things that people usually ask after they learn that they should get their sleep, have a sleep test done to find out if they're suffering from any degree of sleep apnea, severe, mild. I mean, it could be something where if you just sleep in one position, you struggle to breathe, and in another position, you don't. It could be that you snore a little bit. I mean, all these things are what the test will determine. Then they meet with you guys. Then they find out, hey, I'm a great candidate for this oral appliance therapy. And then it always comes down to what? How much is this going to cost?
Right. And we do treatment here. It's not just the device. We have lots of people on our team, a sleep specialist, a doctor, a nurse practitioner, dental team. And the great news is it's usually covered by health insurance. You likely have a benefit that you haven't tapped into. And
you haven't tapped into it because you haven't had a sleep study done to find out you got something wrong.
Correct. Your health insurance is going to want a sleep study done in order to pay. And we check that box off for absolutely free with this test that we're offering today. But health insurance usually will help you. It does qualify for HSA, flex spending. We even do 0% financing for those who need it.
So that is a worry you don't have to have. And you can just focus on the thing, which is what are some of the long-term effects of lack of the right kind of sleep or those who suffer from sleep apnea? I was told I improved my heart health by about 7 or 8 years when I corrected mine. What are some others?
Yeah, your heart needs oxygen. Your brain needs oxygen, needless to say. Things
Surprising, right?
Yep. Anxiety, depression, memory loss, confusion, dementia. Those are all things, I guess you could say, with the brain. High blood pressure, stroke, things
You're
with the heart.
hungrier when you're more sleepy. That was something else I found, as I was less hungry when I was getting the right kind of sleep.
Right. And we spoke about this earlier. January, often people have weight loss goals. untreated sleep apnea will mess up your metabolism. It will mess up things like blood glucose levels, stress hormones. So if you're working out, dieting, doing everything you can to drop those pounds, it's just not happening. It could be your sleep apnea instead.
So let's get that fixed. Here's how you do it. Call a Sound Sleep Medical at 801-716-8672. They'll set you up. You'll get on the phone. They'll set you up your free sleep screening. You come in to one of their 7 locations, Ogden, Layton, Salt Lake, Murray, American Fork, Provo, and then we're at the location at 90th South, 7th East in Sandy today. So a lot of convenient places all the way from Ogden down to Provo.
Utah lawmakers are officially in session. State leaders will debate bills that impact your taxes, our schools, and how we live our lives. Get updates on new bills in the morning and discussion and analysis all day today. Eye on the Hill 2024
on KSL News Radio.
All right. With that little interlude, well, let's give the number again, 801-716-8672. Here's the thing. You get the free sleep screening, the free sleep consultation, and you'll be entered to win a gift basket.
And that includes a purple pillow.
What's a purple
blanket.
pillow?
It's a very comfortable pillow that's made with kind of a purple gel matrix.
Yes. It's sort of similar like the IntelliBed.
Right.
In fact, I think they bought IntelliBed. So the purple pillow is that gel matrix technology.
And then a $50 Amazon gift card. So it's a great offer, a great drawing. And all you have to do is call right now. Again, the number 801-716-8672. The sleep screening, free, no obligation. The appointment is free, no obligation, and then we'll enter you into that drawing.
Think about this. You're going to get better sleep because you're going to fix your breathing issue. And then you're going to sleep on a soft pillow, a super soft blanket. And then you get $50 to spend at Amazon if you're the winner. So do that right now, 801-716-8672.
Have you heard about the huge clearance sale at Dave's Bernina in St. George and Provo? It's time to buy a better machine and get a Bernina. Up to 48 months, no interest on certain models.
Huge January savings on Bernina's Special Edition 770QE and 570QE CAFE machines that include a free embroidery module and free gifts.
Purchase the L890 Serger and receive a free Bernina Studio cabinet, a $3,250 value. How about $2,400 worth of free gifts when you buy a Bernina B790 Pro model?
A limited supply. These machines won't last.
Dave's Bernina has incredible deals on school machine buybacks during the sale.
Starting at $499, plus super deals on floor models and trade-ins.
From everyday sewing tasks to artistic designs, count on Dave's Bernina. In business since 1960, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
NPS, a great place to find deals on everything from grocery to retail. They start on the retail side with 30 to 70% off. Anything that they've got is 30 to 70% off where you would find it in other retail stores. But these are new items. These are not donated items. These are items that are brand new, whether they were an overstock item, whether they were a return from something. But the brand new items for 30 to 70% off their normal price.
Yeah, their whole marketing is set around bringing containers full of stuff. They buy it from somebody who did not accept it, and they open the doors, and they don't know what they're even getting. And it's all just great new stuff, and so that's the whole plan.
But the good news is because they don't know what they're getting, they just pass it on to you. And guess what? They've got 5 more pallets of things that they got to get out. So when you go to NPS and you see something that you like, you better get it because it probably won't be there if you decide to go back even the next day.
Exactly.
So NPS, 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake, 1600 South Empire Road, 1 in Layton at 1150 North Main Street, and 1 in Orem at 475 North State Street. Go check it out. Find yourself an awesome deal at NPS, a nice place to save.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, Salt Lake City's soon-to-be-vacant ballpark could give the Oakland A's a place to play for a few years. Second, some of the hostages held by Hamas say they were kept inside hospitals in Gaza. And third, sales of existing homes across the country are going down even as prices are reaching new highs. Right now, 39 degrees, mostly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to The Movie Show on KSL News Radio.
The Movie Show.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
On KSL News Radio.
Big streaming reviews where, Steve, we talked about True Detective, Night Country, Death and Other Details. We had a text come in on our text line at 57500. By the way, you can answer our text question. You can text us anything you want about movies while we're on the show. In fact, we got What is June rated, and I don't know if it had a rating, but if it was anything, it couldn't have been more than PG or PG-13 at the absolute max, and I don't recall anything objectionable in it at all. Again, that was June, about June Carter Cash, a documentary on Paramount.
We also got a correction on Anthony Hopkins' movie.
Yes. In fact, we had our listeners were right on top of things. The movie we were... Shadowland is the one that's the story of... Shadowlands, the story of C.S. Lewis. And Anthony Hopkins played C.S. Lewis in that movie.
As our kind listeners explained to us.
Yes. And then, of course, he plays Sigmund Freud in Freud's Last Session, which we just watched and
so
reviewed.
He played both sides of the fence. That's interesting.
I wonder how that informed his performance. That's really interesting. I almost wish I'd known that going in to watch the movie. Well, Steve, we want to talk about one more streaming series that is brand new, and it dropped this week on Netflix, called American Nightmare. Now, I watched this, and I vaguely recall something about this story in the news. This happened in about 2014. A guy calls 911, says, my girlfriend was kidnapped right out of our bed.
Hours after.
Yes, several hours later. Oh, my girlfriend was kidnapped. He doesn't sound panicked or anything. You can listen to the 911 call. And the police, they come out, and he's like, yeah, we were just laying in bed, and then suddenly somebody came in our house, and they tied us up, and then they, put these goggles on us.
And they were wearing wetsuits?
And they were wearing wetsuits, and they kidnapped my girlfriend. I don't know where she is.
Yeah.
And then
they
the
didn't
police
call
are
until 2 o'clock the next day.
Yeah, and it happened at 3 in the morning or 7 a.m. It was enough to where the police are and when you hear the story, you're you kind of get what the police are thinking, because this doesn't sound very likely. I don't want to say much more other than that's the table setter. But this story is bonkers. It is 100% true, and this is a documentary where they intersperse news footage, coverage from the time, interviews with everyone, but there are some conspicuous interviews absent that I can't say without giving away where the story goes, but each episode leaves you with oh crud, now I have to watch the next episode.
Oh, no question. This thing is so bizarre that you couldn't make this up.
No, if somebody made a movie about this, and by the way, this is, if even giving away what movie it's similar to will spoil some of the story. But one of the things that police said is, hey, this is sure similar to this movie that just came out recently to when this happened. But as the story progresses, you'd think this is a story that you couldn't believe if it was fiction, because it asks too much.
Well, there's only 3 episodes, so they're 40, 45 minutes apiece.
Correct.
I guarantee you watch the first one, you're not going to stop until you finish.
No.
Because it's just that weird.
That is true. So you're going to be in it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're just going to tell you.
Just plan on it.
Because, you won't want to wait. They really edit it well to where you have to start the next one as soon as you finish.
It is unbelievable. I mean, really.
That is American Nightmare. It is a documentary. I don't think, if anything, it might have some R-rated words occasionally, but it's not. I believe it's just TV-14, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. But if anything, I don't recall any particularly objectionable stuff.
Yeah.
That is on Netflix, American Nightmare. And, Steve, this is the big news. We've been talking about Reacher for a month and a half now.
Yes.
Everyone else had to wait. We thankfully did not.
I couldn't do it.
And finally, the final episode of Reacher Season 2 dropped this week on Prime Video.
Yep.
So now,
Love,
if
love,
you've
love.
waited, you can watch. Now, our producer, Stone, he has apparently watched every episode of Season 2 that leads up to whatever the new episode is. So he's seen Episode 1 7 times, Episode 2 6 times. Because
I would
that's
say
how
he's
much
a
he
fan.
likes it.
I told him he could come over and watch it, and he said, nope, going to stay home and watch it when I can. So,
But Reacher, all episodes are now available.
by the way, brilliant. It's amazing.
Oh, for sure. I think it's the best action show. I actually was talking with one of my coworkers who just finally watched The Night Agent on Netflix from last year.
Yeah.
And how good that was, and it was good.
Yeah.
But I still think Reacher was just better.
Just
and
the physicality of
it. It's Alan Ritchson. He's
a
what makes
stud.
the series work like it does. So
And they're shooting the third season, so don't worry about it going away. They're already in the middle of shooting season 3.
And speaking of sad
Which
streaming
we'll probably
news,
see next week.
Schmigadoon got canceled.
I know.
But the worst part, so this is the one that was the spoof of musicals, but it really has all these hilarious musical numbers. They had a third season script written and 25 songs written for the series, and it got canceled. So I'm hoping, I don't know, this is Apple.
It's gotta
so that
show
may
up
not.
somewhere.
I hope that third season shows up
if
somewhere.
Apple dropped him, that's not good.
I know. So, and we're hearing about more cancellations. Things are dropping.
You know the reason why. It's very expensive to produce. That's
it is.
the problem.
It's so well done, though. That's why it's a shame. Shame more people didn't watch it. So, when we come back on the movie show, we will have Telephone Torture, the theme, an Astronaut movie. But before we do Telephone Torture, we want to talk again with Melissa Lowry from Sound Sleep Medical. Melissa, oral appliance therapy is not CPAP. And so the sleep solution that we're talking about, when our listeners call in and they get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation, what you're going to be helping them find out if they need is something that you just pop in your mouth. It's not a hose. It doesn't hook to a machine. You don't have to wash 47 parts. You don't have to carry a bag with you on a plane or up camping. I've had to, for my CPAP, I had to lug a marine battery, which is like 20 pounds, all in this little square. And I was like, guess what? If I have to go on a hike camp, nope, I'm just going to have to snore. I tried a thing that sticks to your tongue to see if that could help. And all it did is turn my tongue purple and made it hurt for the rest of the day when I got up.
Right. And
this is not that.
That's a no vote for that one.
That is a no vote for that one. Bought it on Amazon. Don't recommend it.
No, there's no comparison to that online stuff. And even if you do great with your CPAP at home, you're right. What do you do when you go camping or traveling or the power goes out? This is an oral appliance that is a real medical device, not some online boil and bite.
Right. And if it wasn't, insurance wouldn't cover it.
Right. It's been studied and proven to work. That's why insurance will pay for it. This is not some gimmick. It's medical equipment. But you'll do a 3D digital scan in our offices, so it's the perfect size, perfect fit for your mouth, which makes it super comfortable. But
How about
also
that digital scan, Steve?
No, it was nothing.
He
to
did it today.
Yeah,
in fact,
he did it
they
today.
put a piece in my mouth and said, now, is that comfortable? So they made sure that the distance, because the whole idea is to make sure that your lower jaw doesn't fall back into your, into your throat and make you snore. So it felt perfectly comfortable. In a couple of weeks, I'll get the appliance and we'll see how it works.
And the scan took like 5 minutes?
Yeah, there's nothing
It's
to it.
really easy. And again, health insurance will usually help you with this. It does qualify for HSA and flex spending. We've got 0% financing. The important thing is fix your sleep apnea. It's going to make you miserable now, tired during the day, maybe a little bit irritable, but also it's going to hit you later in life, as if you procrastinate this and don't fix it, so many long-term health effects will start to catch up to you down the road.
Your body's an amazing producer of energy when it's given time to recharge itself. And when it's not, you got to get the energy from somewhere else. And all that does is it leads to this horrible spiral of lack of energy, which means you got to drink more caffeine in order to get yourself going, which leaves you more tired when it all wears off. Let your body do what it's supposed to do. Fix your sleep apnea. get the night's rest that you're supposed to have, and see the change that it makes. It's such an awesome change. Speaking as somebody who finally corrected sleep apnea, and it makes all the difference. So,
it does.
What's the number to call again?
801-716-8672. Calling that will automatically get you a free sleep screening. This is a test you do at home in your own bed. Free sleep consultation. Sit down with us, get your results, and then we'll enter you into a drawing for our Better Sleep gift basket.
Awesome. So 801-716-8672 for Sound Sleep Medical.
It's 12:31 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top local story this hour. We have breaking news from Utah's state capitol. The Utah House has passed a bill that would prohibit diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Utah's state colleges. KSL News Radio's Hugo Rickard Bell joins us live with that story. Hugo?
Dan, the bill has just passed with 58 yes votes and 14 no votes. But let me say, the energy in the room was emotional. Representative Katie Hall fielded questions and comments from all sides of the House about her bill that would get rid of diversity, equality and inclusion programs from government institutions like state universities. Interestingly enough, though, Republican Representative Mark Wheatley didn't support the bill, saying it's too early to get rid of these diversity programs. He said there isn't enough data on whether they work at promoting equal representation for all walks of life in the workplace and education. And Joe Briscoe had a particularly passionate statement where he spoke to the whole House of lawmakers and said, just because we don't experience racism doesn't mean they don't. The bill now moves on to the Senate, where it still has some hoops to jump through. Reporting live from the Capitol, Hugo Rickard Bell, KSL News Radio.
A man who'd been shot turned up at the Maverick store on 2nd West and North Temple this morning. Police want to know more about how and where this shooting happened. Detective Michael Ruff.
We believe somewhere near the area of 1000 West and 100 South. That's where someone picked him up, a good Samaritan at this point, we believe. But we have not found that scene. So if anybody does have information that would help us find where this person was shot, we would appreciate that.
The man was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Some of the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza say they were kept inside hospitals. ABC's Jordana Miller reports from Jerusalem.
Released Israeli hostage Sharon Aloni Cuneo revealing she and her family were held at Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza for most of their captivity. Hamas, she claims, used 3 rooms at the hospital to hold large groups of hostages. Cuneo's account, another piece of evidence that supports Israel's claim Hamas uses hospitals for military purposes. Cuneo and her 3-year-old twins were freed in November, but her husband is still one of 132 hostages in Gaza. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Some of the hostages have also told stories of sexual assault, beatings, and solitary confinement, even for children. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average up on the day now, 400 points, 402. NASDAQ is up right now, 219 points. And our KSL weather, the clouds are with us through the weekend. That's next. KSL News Time, 12:34.
Listen to KSL for news to get exactly what you want.
It's a good place to get accurate news.
They do the in-depth, reliable, balanced, thought-provoking.
Hear the important stories, the stories that affect you.
On KSL News Radio.
Hi, this is Julie. Come chill with us in Logan where we do winter right. Okay, this is super cool, and I mean that literally. Bring your binoculars and bundle up. Take a horse-drawn sleigh ride through a herd of 600 elk at Hardware Ranch. Get up close to these majestic animals on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We're also home to Beaver Mountain and Cherry Peak ski resorts where you can ski, snowboard, or go tubing on a 500-foot hill. The best part is they have a magic carpet that drags your carcass to the top of the hill so you don't even have to. Need more adrenaline? Rent snowmobiles at Beaver Creek Lodge to explore the beautiful mountains, miles of powder, and groomed trails too. For more frosty fun, try indoor ice skating. It doesn't matter how coordinated you are or aren't. This totally cracks me up. You can rent skates and helmets and even a walker. Perfect! Or just cozy up to the fireplace at a historic bed and breakfast or comfortable hotel. Enjoy live concerts and theater performances and delicious dining options. More info at explorelogan.com/winter. That's explorelogan.com/winter. Logan, we're cool like that.
How's the water where you live? Depending on where you live in Utah, the water coming out of your tap might be really hard and not taste very good. It might be leaving spots on your glasses and shower and leaving your skin dry.
We want you to know our friends at Superior Water and Air have solutions for your home and your business, by the way. They have the best, most efficient water softeners in Utah, but not only that, they also have water purifiers that will give your family crystal clear drinking water.
And if you're still using those big unsanitary water bottles in your office, let Superior hook you up to a more convenient, trusted water system.
When you think of Superior Water and Air, think of solutions for everything in your home, from plumbing to water heaters to furnaces and air conditioning, and of course those great home standby generators.
To keeping the air in your home as healthy as possible, especially during these inversions. I had Superior install 2 things in my home that have helped us so much. We have an air purifier and a humidifier hooked right up to our furnace.
Call Superior today, 974-9090, or go to superiorwaterandair.com.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Well, we're crash-free and delay-free, I-15 from Ogden to Provo, where I am seeing the slowdowns again. This is on the main arteries up in the Summit County Park City area. Salt Lake Magazine calls Swan Lake breathtaking, featuring timeless music of Tchaikovsky, performed live with the Ballet West Orchestra, February 9th through the 17th. Buy tickets at balletwest.org. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, cloudy with highs in the mid-40s, a chance of rain Saturday and Sunday. And right now, 43 degrees, mostly cloudy. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the KSL Movie Show.
It's gonna work. It's passable, okay? This isn't terrible.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
We're slow learners. We're not particularly good listeners.
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Well, Steve, it's time for that cherished moment in the movie show where we torture our listeners.
Don't we do that for
the
2 hours?
KSL Movie Show. Telephone torture.
Except this, you're correct. But this time we torture them over the telephone.
Special torture.
So that means it's time to call 801-575-TALK, 801-575-8255. Now, here's the thing. We're doing 2 telephone tortures today, Steve.
What?
Because we have one today during our show and then one on our special movie show tonight.
Oh, we're doing one tonight?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
We're going to torture people about Sundance.
Oh.
But you know why? It's because our friends at the Megaplex Theaters are hosting our movie show tonight.
And they want to give away 2 prizes.
And they want to give away prizes. So we actually have 3 prizes to choose from.
Wow.
But what we're going to do today is, we're going to give away 1 prize on telephone torture. You'll have first pick of the 3. And then whatever 2 are left will be the prizes tonight. So you'll have 2 chances to win on telephone torture today. Our theme for this telephone torture is an astronaut movie, and that's all we're going to tell you about it, because we've been taking texts today of what's your favorite astronaut movie. So I thought, let's do telephone torture on that theme, because it's possible somebody has already suggested what the answer to telephone torture is, but I'm not going to tell you what, because you're going to have to get there first. I forgot, Steve, and I was talking about all of this. What's the regular movie show prize while I hurry and pull up what the other prizes are?
Well, they're normally 2 drinks, a tub of popcorn, and 2 tickets to any movie you want to see at the Megaplex.
Yeah, and that's what's called the date night package, and that will be one of the prize options. But listen to what else we've got today. We've got a Megaplex Sundance prize pack. You know what? Should we save that one for tonight?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so your choices are between 2 things then for Telephone Torture this afternoon. The Megaplex Filmed in Utah series, which is 4 passes to the Megaplex Filmed in Utah series. 10 movies, 10 weeks. It's only $10. So even if you don't win, this is a pretty good deal. But you'll win 2 of those, or 4 passes to that series, that will get you into 40 total movies.
Wow.
10 movies each for 4 people. Or the Megaplex Date Night movie pack, 2 tickets, a popcorn, and 2.
And the other one
large
is
Megaplex
movies that
tickets.
were made in Utah?
Yes, it's a new series that they're going to be having at the Megaplex.
Oh, I didn't even
So you
know
can
about
go
that.
see them up on the big screen. It's part of the 100 Years of Filmmaking in Utah series.
That makes sense.
With the Utah Film Commission. So, do we have our first potential victim and/or / winner on the line? John, is this you?
Tickets or the 2. And the other one is movies that were made in Utah.
John, turn down your radio and turn up your phone.
Go to the future, John.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, John, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First of all, what is your favorite astronaut movie?
It's got to be either The Martian or Space Odyssey.
The Martian or 2001: A Space Odyssey? Well, as I give you these clues, we shall see if your favorite is the answer. And the first clue is this movie did not do as well as had hoped at the box office because real-world events played a role that was too close to what this movie was based on.
Wow. Well, if you come up with it based on that, you're...
This movie did not do
Genius.
very well. It is a space astronaut movie. Did really well. Did not do well at the box office, and most believe it was because real-life events were too close to what the movie's storyline was, and people weren't ready to go and watch that.
How about Armageddon?
Armageddon. Is that correct, Corey Gustavo? John, that's a great guess. And thankfully...
That's not her name, by the way. Corey Gustavo.
Well, we asked Gustavo if that's correct, but I don't know if Corey can see the answer. But, John, good guess. Thankfully, we have not been threatened by a planet-destroying asteroid as of yet.
It's coming.
But who knows? Okay, so who is our next caller? Michelle, are you our next caller?
Hi.
Hello, who's this?
This is Todd.
Todd, you don't sound like a Michelle. So, Todd, what's your favorite space movie?
You know, probably the Tom Hanks one, the Apollo...
Apollo 13.
13, yeah. I was going to say Don Knotts, The Reluctant Astronaut, but as a kid, that was my favorite one.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good one.
So cute. Okay, Todd, it's Todd, right?
Apollo 13, yeah.
Okay, Todd, so you heard the first clue. Did you hear the first clue?
So I...
Well, you don't have to answer that, but did you actually hear the first clue, yes or no?
So, no, I did not.
Okay. Didn't do well at the box office. Real-life events seemed to interfere with it. Question number 2. This movie had what was a lot of star power for the 1980s. However, one of the stars actually went on to win an Oscar, but not until much later. And he was not known by the name he won the Oscar by when he was in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. Oh, my goodness.
I'll give you a hint. His first name in this movie, the actor who played in this movie's first name was Leaf. And he later changed it to something else.
I want to say the right stuff.
The Right Stuff. Is that correct, Corey?
No.
Ah,
That's a no.
Todd, that is a good guess, and you are Getting real close with the release date on that one. But
Well,
it
I
is
gave it my
not the right stuff. However, good guess, and try again on the movie show. All right, we have one more caller. If we don't get it, we're going to take the first correct answer on the text line.
Have we got it?
Well, I haven't looked because I've been talking to the listeners.
Oh, all right. Can't multitask.
Let's see. We do have some correct answers that have come in since we started the telephone torture.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the last hope right here. Who's this?
This is Matt.
Did you say Matt?
Yep,
Okay, Matt, you ready? Space movie. Have you heard the first two clues?
I have.
Okay. The third clue. This movie stars Leah Thompson, Kate Capshaw, Tom Skerritt, Tate Donovan, and the aforementioned Leaf Phoenix. And Kelly Preston, who went on to be John Travolta's wife later in life.
Maybe Space Camp?
Is that correct, Corey? Correct.
Oh,
Congratulations.
yay.
Did you Google that?
He's got a super fast Google.
He Googled
I've
it.
been Googling through all the previous ones. to
He's
try and
been
narrow it
Googling
down.
the whole time. All right, so it was 1986's Space Camp. It happened too close to the Challenger disaster, and people believed that there just wasn't an appetite to go see a movie where astronauts, and especially kid astronauts, were in peril up above the Earth, and a problem with the launch. So it didn't do as well as they believed it would, based on all those actors who were in it, who were huge at the time. I only saw it because Leah Thompson was in it, and I had a huge crush on her. But I also ended up loving it. I actually saw that. That's the movie I watched on video when I had my tonsils out. So, anyway, congratulations, Matt. Stay on the line. Corey will get your information, and we'll find out which of the Megaplex prize packages you choose. Thank you for playing Telephone Torture, and sponsored by our friends at Larry H. Miller Megaplex Theaters. All right. We got to check in with you one more time. There's only a few more minutes, Melissa, where our movie show listeners can call in to Sound Sleep Medical and schedule their free sleep screening, free sleep consultation, and be entered to win the drawing for the Sleep Better gift basket. What is this thing what's in the basket?
It's a great deal. It includes a purple pillow, a minky blanket, and a $50 Amazon gift card. So we're going to enter you into a drawing for that. But everybody that calls 801-716-8672 will automatically get free, no obligation, the sleep screening and consultation.
I had a friend who just texted me and said, okay, you're convincing me I need an oral appliance. That sounds like it would be so much easier for traveling.
For sure. And, likely your listeners have heard us month after month. We're here often on the movie show. Stop procrastinating. We start to make resolutions in January. Start to sleep better because it will make you healthier.
The difference a good night's sleep makes, and Steve, you got your mouth scanned today.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing what you say when you finally get the sleep you should be
I'm
getting
looking forward
all
to
along.
Exactly. That's what I'm really. My daughter asked me the other day, "What was your New Year's resolution? What do you want for this year?" And I said, "Health." And you just hit it right on the head. If you're having problems sleeping, it doesn't cost you anything to find out.
Right.
Just do it. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous.
So 801-716-8672. And here's the thing. To come and pick up your sleep test, which you'll take at home, can't emphasize that enough because I'm surprised. I didn't have any trouble sleeping somewhere else when I got my sleep test done 12, 13 years ago. But my dad never would because he didn't want to have to do a test somewhere else. And by the time I was trying to talk him, look, Dad, they do it at home now. It just sounds like a lot. Really isn't that much.
No, it's pretty easy. I've tested myself a few times. It's a strap that'll go around your chest with a little monitor, pulse ox on your finger, and then a cannula for your nose to measure breathing. And it's really not that bad. You get to do it at home.
I looked like
in your own bed.
Frankenstein when I did the one.
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep, and so I would probably throw off the test. I slept better with the darn machine on me than I thought I would, and still came back with uh-oh.
With all of the health screenings out there that we have to do or should do, this is a very easy one, and it's offered for free today.
801-716-8672. Sound Sleep Medical has locations in Ogden, Layton, Salt Lake, Murray, Sandy, American Fork, Provo. So Ogden to Provo, close by. Now get this, you say as early maybe even as next week you could come in and pick up your sleep test.
Absolutely. You just got to call. Stop procrastinating. This is a new year. Let's have a new you with some new sleep.
Yeah, and if you have a weight loss goal, getting better sleep will only help with that.
For sure. Your metabolism will benefit greatly once you treat your sleep apnea.
Well, Melissa, thank you for having the movie show here. We're always, I'm really passionate about people getting their sleep apnea corrected because I know what a difference it makes in so many different areas of life that you just don't realize until you fix it.
That's right.
So 801-716-8672 for Sound Sleep Medical.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, the Utah House has passed a bill that would eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Utah's public colleges. Second, police want to know what happened with a man who came into a convenience store with a gunshot wound this morning. He was taken to the hospital. And third, an Israeli hostage who was held by Hamas says she and others were held in one of Gaza's biggest hospitals. Right now, 43 degrees, mostly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to The Movie Show on KSL News Radio.
The Movie Show.
Spock, you haven't changed a bit. You're just as warm and sociable as ever.
Nor have you, Doctor, as your continued predilection for irrelevancy demonstrates.
On KSL News Radio.
Well, congratulations to Matt, who won our Megaplex prize. He chose the Megaplex date night, which means tonight on the next movie show, we're going to have the Megaplex Sundance prize package and the Filmed in Utah series prize package, which will both be awesome.
Yeah, tune in tonight because we're going to have some fun. I've already gone through a ton of movies just to see which ones, if I were choosing, like in documentaries or in the dramatic. So we'll give you some ideas of what might be good ones to see.
And because it's the 40th anniversary of Sundance, we're going to take a look back at some things that came out of Sundance. Maybe you're like me, and 40 years ago you weren't paying attention to movies that were independent or what it means to have an indie film
You,
come
40
out
years
of that.
ago, you were 11.
I was 8. But
I actually went to the United States Film
US
Festival.
Utah Film Festival.
Yeah, before this became Sundance.
Wow.
But my first film that I really blew my mind was Blood Simple from the Coen brothers in 1984-85.
Well, this will be fun tonight. We're going to talk about what are some of our favorite movies that have come out of Sundance, and I bet we'll surprise some of you at what movies made their debut at the film festival here in Utah.
Yeah.
That is all tonight from 7 to 9 on KSL News Radio. But, Steve, we got to rapid-fire things.
Okay.
First of all, there was one movie that neither of us got to see that we do want to tell you about. It is opening in theaters today, and kind of curious that the movie Cult Killers we didn't get a chance to see it because it's got a couple people we've heard of.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of Antonio Banderas. Probably some of you know who Alice Eve is. They are both in this movie. They play private detectives who are put on a really strange case. I'm told that it is absolutely disturbing.
Oh, well, maybe I'm not so
Yeah,
sad that I
but
missed it.
It sounds like the commitment of the actors was a little better than the script that they provided, which might be why Saban Films decided to ignore my plaintiff
Your
weepings.
repeated
I figured
requests.
after 3 requests, if they weren't going to get back to me, then heck with them.
So that is called Cult Killers, rated R, and apparently it sounds disturbing. So
absolutely disturbing.
Oh, absolutely disturbing.
I don't know who's disturbed by that, but we'll see.
All right, and then rapid fire, where we quickly go over the things we talked about on the movie show today before we wrap up the show. Our big movie of the week was ISS, stands for International Space Station. Ariana DeBose and Chris Messina are basically Pilo Asbæk. You've seen in other things, you just don't know that's him.
Yeah.
3 Americans, 3 Russians cosmonauts on the International Space Station. War were declared down on Earth, and now they bring the conflict to a small little place up in space.
Yeah.
For me, I thought this was almost a good movie, better than average. I say it's worth a look, and it's definitely better watched on the big screen.
Yeah, no question, because of the claustrophobia. I thought the early dialogue was way too on the nose. I mean, they were like, hey, we've got to work together no matter what. You know, and you're like, we know
We're
what's
all
coming.
friends here.
Yeah, yeah. And like, oh, watch out. If that goes dark, boy, we're in trouble. Like, wonder if that's
I wonder
foreshadowing.
if that will come back later, yes.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that bug me. But then as we got into the characters a little bit more, I enjoyed it more and still thought it was weird.
And I thought good tension. Good tension. It's one of those ones that'll get you a little tense.
Yeah.
All right. We also have All of Us Strangers, a movie that likely to get some Academy Award buzz, especially for the lead actor.
Yeah, Andrew Scott.
Which we, by the way, figured out he played Moriarty in the BBC Sherlock series.
Oh, he was great in that. Everything he's done. Fleabag, he was amazing in that. And he's good in this. I just didn't think this was Oscar caliber film. I just thought it was a kind of a strange movie about a guy who's looking back and having people go along with him that shouldn't be there, and then having a relationship with a guy that's like, what's that about? And
Yeah,
so
I gave it a C+.
I actually ended up giving it a B-.
A B- for you. Then we've got Freud's Last Session. I gave this an A-. Anthony Hopkins as Sigmund Freud. Jonathan Good? Matthew Good as C.S. Lewis. Great dialogue, sharply written, well acted.
Yeah, this was a fun movie. I give it a B+. And it's you got to look for it though. It's not in every theater.
Yes. June on Paramount Plus, the story of June Carter Cash. This is a documentary. If you don't know anything about the woman who you've probably heard of as Johnny Cash's wife, she was an incredibly talented lady.
Yeah, and you'll see that, and that's the beauty of this film. I wouldn't have watched this unless we were going to talk about it, but this is on Paramount Plus, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. We've also got Death and Other Details on Hulu, a streaming series that's a whodunit that feels like Knives Out and Poirot combined together.
Yeah.
A little bit saucy with some stuff. This isn't for the younger kids, but a very enjoyable whodunit. They hooked us with 2 episodes, and now we have to wait to watch the rest.
And whoever's the lead, she's amazing.
Yes. And Mandy Patinkin's the other lead.
Yeah,
I forgot
he's
to
fun.
say that, I guess. True Detective, Night Country.
Jodie Foster and I can't remember her name again. Pair up to solve the mystery of 8 men who disappear from a research lab in Alaska.
And that one's on Max.
That one's on, HBO Max.
American Nightmare on Netflix, a 3-part documentary series, 40 minutes each, of one of the craziest cases you'll ever hear that you won't believe it until you see it, but it's worth seeing.
Everything you just said. My daughter watched it last night, and she says, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that was real.
And then finally, we just want to remind you, the season 2 finale of Reacher dropped this week. So now if you've waited of the series we've been bragging about, now you don't have to wait anymore.
Reacher is one of my favorite shows ever.
All right, that is the movie show for Corey and Gustavo back at the studios. Steve, thank you. We'll see you tonight at 7.
Maybe.
No, you'll be there.
Oh, okay.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 1 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour, a bill that would prohibit government institutions like state colleges from having diversity, equity, and inclusion programs is advancing out of the Utah House. Representatives voted to approve the bill today, sending it on to the state Senate after an emotional debate on the House floor. Nordic Valley has at least partially reopened after a fire gutted the only lodge at that resort earlier this week. Season pass holders were allowed back yesterday. KSL.com reports the resort's managers are bringing in trailers to help provide ticketing facilities and other needs with the goal of reopening fully to all skiers in the near future. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. U.S. Marines aboard ships in the Mediterranean are ready in case they're needed for rescue missions or other action. ABC News foreign correspondent Maggie Ruley talked to Captain Earl Earhart on the effect that the October 7th Hamas attack had on their preparation.
It gave a sense of reality to what we were doing. So we've always